So we got shocking news out of the Sixers. Charania got the details on the team meeting that the Sixers held after they lost to the Miami Heat last night. It included some very shocking things about Joel Embiid, Nick Nurse. We're going to get into all of that, and we're going to talk about what I think the Sixers need to do from here and moving forward. So without further ado, here's the intro. What's going on, Cliffhangers? We are back with another video. We are still on the road to 1,000 subscribers before the end of December. So if you could please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button down below, it will be greatly appreciated. Also, become part of Noti Gang. Hit that bell notification down below so you never miss a video. We can set a like goal on the video today. Get me to 100 likes. I would greatly appreciate it. It takes 1 second. But without further ado, let's get right into it. All right, so y'all don't need no warm-up. Y'all know that the Sixers had a team meeting last night after losing to the Miami Heat. It took Nick Nurse about an hour to come out after the team meeting and talk to reporters, and he and Joel discussed, Nick Nurse discussed like they had a team meeting. Joel said they didn't. We thought that the meeting would be held between the players and it would be kept between the players, but it got leaked. And of course, Shams got the details, and one of the major details coming out of that story is here, and I'm going to read it to y'all now. In the meeting, Maxey challenged Embiid to be on time to team activities, calling out the former league MVP about being late for everything and how it impacts the locker room from other players to coaching staff. Sources briefed on the meeting told ESPN. Maxey and Embiid have a close friendship and have a history of holding each other accountable, according to those around the team. Players told 76ers coach Nick Nurse that they want to be coached harder, and coaches in turn said that they want players to practice with purpose and attention to detail. Embiid accepted the message sent in the meeting, sources said, but he stated he is confused about what the 76ers are attempting to execute sometimes on the court. All right, so the glaring thing out of that is that the 24-year-old Tyrese Maxey had to tell the 30-year-old franchise player, league MVP, Joel Embiid, that he has to be on time for team activities and that he's pretty much late for everything. He's not late to this and that and here and there. He's late for everything. And what type of message does that send to the locker room? And I can see why the players are down on just the entire season. You can see it in the way that they play. The Sixers play and the coaches coach like they all hate each other, or they are all trying to prove a point to each other. And I said it in a previous video about the message that the Sixers were trying to portray going into the season of Joel Embiid and Paul George will automatically not play games whether healthy or not, just because they want to load manage them. And what type of message does that send if these guys are healthy and you're just not going to play them, but you're telling everybody else to go out there and play their hardest to try to go win games? And I'm pretty sure they're like, well, no, it would be easier to win games if we had our 2 All-Stars on the court with us. Why are you telling us that they're going to miss games already, even if they're healthy? That doesn't make any sense. So it's kind of crazy that the root of all the Sixers problems is a locker room thing, and it all stems from Joel Embiid. And I've been saying this for plenty of years, and many people have been saying it. He is not a good leader. He's not a good leader of men. He's not a good leader for this basketball team. And a lot of these years, or many of these seasons, we have been saying, like, it's fine, it's okay, you just need to bring in somebody like that. That's why you bring in like a PJ Tucker. That's why you probably try to bring in like Paul George or James Harden. Not like the greatest leaders, but you need somebody to pretty much carry Embiid along, because he isn't a great leader. He isn't up there mentally to be able to carry a team to a championship. And you see it here. You have a 24-year-old who is, yeah, they're good friends, but you have a 24-year-old having to tell a 30-year-old that he needs to be on time for team activities, and he needs to set the standard. That's the problem. And this is why everybody appreciates, everybody in the Eagles organization and Eagles fans appreciate Jalen Hurts so much, because he sets a standard, right? He is going to show you at all times you need to be calm, cool. He's going to show you how to go out there and win. You don't need to be too high. You don't need to be too low. I'm going to be early for this. I'm going to be last one at practice. I'm going to be the first one at practice, first one on the field. And I'm going to set the standard. I'm going to be the leader for this team. Everything is going to fall back on me. Joel Embiid doesn't have that when it comes to him. We've seen it in previous years, how he blames teammates the second that they lose a playoff series. We saw it when they lost, rightfully so, but when they lost to the Hawks, he blamed Ben Simmons immediately. When they lost to the Celtics, he pretty much threw some blame on James Harden. Like, it's always everybody else but Joel Embiid. And that showed me the type of leader that he is. And he's just not there. And the fact that this is still happening at 30 years old, and this is a season where the Sixers are supposed to be contending for a championship, and you have him walking around like this, like he has done anything, they're losing because you're not playing. This is your fault. I don't understand what he's not getting to his head or who he thinks he is, but the Sixers are never going to win a championship with him at the helm. And you cannot continue to let this type of behavior continue to happen. It's not conducive to help anybody on the team. And I'm pretty sure all the players that signed with the Sixers were not expecting this to be the result. But yet, here we are. And I have no idea how the Sixers are going to spin this. I have no idea who leaked the story. But obviously, it got leaked for a reason because people needed to know what was going on. And it all stems and all comes back to Joel Embiid. He has been the reason that they have been losing. And I've said it in a video before. There have been plenty of different coaches. There have been plenty of different players. There have been plenty of different players. There have been plenty of different coaches. Every season looks the same. And the common denominator is Joel Embiid. And he has been the reason for why the Sixers look the way they do year in and year out. Is he a great player? Absolutely. Is he a good leader? Absolutely not. And that's just what you have to come down to. And that's just what it is with Joel Embiid. Now, like I said, I don't know how the Sixers are going to spin this, but there's just absolutely no way you can continue with this type of behavior. I've been warming up to it. I've been wanting it to happen for the past 2 seasons, but they need to blow it up. You can't have something like this come out and then you see that it's your franchise player's fault. And I know they signed him to an extension. I know it's going to be hard to get off these contracts, but I'm just speaking emotionally right now. They need to blow it up. You need to trade him for as many picks as you can get. It won't be the haul that it used to be because of his injury history, but you need to blow it up. Use the pieces that you have right now. Use those Clipper picks, and you need to go rebuild, right? And I know a lot of people are thinking you don't want to go into a rebuild because of that 10-72 team. And I get it. People have PTSD from that team and from those seasons. But you have to remember, during those seasons, you didn't have hope. You didn't have a player that you could rely on to go out and win you some games. And honestly, just make it look fun. And now with the Sixers, you have 2 of them. You have Tyrese Maxey and you also have Jared McCain. Yes, they are on the smaller side of the NBA as far as backcourt side height. But you now have 2 players that you can rely on and you can go forward and say, okay, we can build a team around this. Tyrese Maxey maybe isn't a number 1 option. Jared McCain probably isn't a number 1 option. But this is the draft class where you can possibly draft a franchise-changing player. Like you could probably draft a Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, somebody, Dylan Harper, somebody that can help you along with the rebuild. The rebuild would not be as long as previous years have been. And in the NBA, honestly, things can change yearly, right? The Clippers picks, they could possibly change in 5 years. We don't know because LA is a hot city. A lot of players want to go there. You don't know how fast that rebuild could take. But in the Sixers case, you can use the assets you get from Joel Embiid. Maybe you try to get off of Paul George, keep him here as a leader and a vet. Maybe you try to get off, but you go get as many picks as you can to try and contribute to a rebuild, because I think this is cooked. And I have been thinking this for multiple seasons, right? I've been thinking this since the James Harden stuff ended, because I did not think that there was a way that the Sixers could honestly compete after what I saw from Joel Embiid in Game 6 versus Celtics. And I also saw it again in Game 5 versus the Knicks, where Tyrese Maxey had to save him. I just don't think he is there mentally to be a number 1 option for you to win at a championship level. You can't depend on him health-wise. You just don't know what's going to happen. And we've seen it here. He is not a leader. So they need to blow it up. They need to start a rebuild. You need to start it now before his trade value completely diminishes. I know that the extension is going to hurt. The injuries are going to hurt. But he's still a great player, right? He's still Joel Embiid. You can definitely get some picks for him, and you need to just try to get something back to where you can recoup something, and you can try to go tank and possibly go get Cooper Flag, Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, and somebody from this draft class. Hopefully that pick doesn't drop to 7 and you lose it and it goes to OKC. Knowing the Sixers' luck, that will happen. But this is ridiculous that this is happening from a 30-year-old who just cannot be on time for team meetings because he refuses to set a standard and be a leader for the other players in the locker room. And it's just something that we have just been denying and ignoring as Sixers fans for a while now. And it has finally come to light. And I think that a lot of people are about to be on the same page with the Joel Embiid era. And I think people are just tired of it at this point. Spike Eskin even tweeted the other day, like they're reaching irrelevancy in the city. And I can't knock them. Like, that's where they're headed right now. And that's just what it is, man. But y'all know where I'm at. Blow it up. You have two young pieces that you can build around or build off of in Tyrese Maxey and Jared McCain. Figure something out. The rebuild won't be as long as the process era, but it is what it is, man. Let me know what y'all think in the comments below. Should they blow it up? Should they keep the team together? Is Joel Embiid at 100% fault? Will they be able to turn this around? Let me know. Hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down below.